To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather up stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rent, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven.
Come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. We welcome all who are seeking a new path and those that have found this community as a home. The seekers of justice, spirituality, and community. The Throop Unitarian Universalist Church, where we love the world from the heart of Pasadena. Reverend Tara, Megan, and I would all like to welcome you all virtually for being here with us today. We hope temporarily streaming to you only in support of this community. It's very important to allow us to continue to be part of this beloved community. So I do ask, if you are so moved today, to continue sharing your generosity in support of this congregation. Donations can be made online or on text to give. Instructions are in the chat and also in our order of service. If you're new to Throop, please sign in on our online guest book as well, and links to the order of service are in worship or in the chat as well. We'd love to get a chance to know you. You are a light, yet undiscovered. Truly, each of us is a light unto the world. The flame from our chalice symbolizes this light. And I'm going to ask our Reverend Tara to lead us now through that chalice light.
Thank you, Greg. Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with a flame from shared candles of hope and witness. And I share these words from Katie Gilfand. We call forth the life of our faith by igniting our chalice. The spark of new beginnings moves us into sacred space to reflect where we have been and where we are going. Even knowing that this particular flame will eventually, intentionally be extinguished, we fear not its end, for we know with brave hearts that from every ending of our lives, we are sent forth to make a new beginning. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now reside on. The land under and around Throop was once and is still the home of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Mission Indian people. And may this knowledge and awareness draw us towards seeking more justice and equity for all. And we light a third candle symbolizing the sacred waters of our Arroyo Seco watershed. And may these waters continue to nourish all life in our communities. And we take a moment of silence together, holding all of these in our hearts.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails a new creation. On all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What through the tempest round me roars, I know the truth that liveth. But through the darkness round me close, songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? No prison cell or dungeon vile, or thoughts to them are ringing. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing?
Thank you, Megan. And thank you all for being a part of our service today. For all of you at home, please say our blessing of love and hope for our community, again found in our order of service online. As members of the family of living beings on earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and the planet itself. Thank you. Our pondering for the day is a poem entitled "Even This Is Enough" by Vanessa Southern. So much undone, so much to do, so much to heal in us and the world. So much to acquire: a meal, a healthy body, a fit one, a lover, a job, a better job, proof we have and are enough, just around the corner of now. Up and against it, the reality of all that falls short and the limits of today. We honor the limits. If your body won't do what it used to do, for right now, let it be enough. If your mind won't stop racing and can't think of a word, let it be enough. If you are here utterly alone and in despair, be all here with us. If today you cannot sing because your throat hurts, you don't have heart for the music, be silent. When the offering plate, metaphorically, goes around, if you don't have money or give the heart to give, let it pass. The world won't stop spinning on her axis if you don't rise to all occasions today. Love won't cease to flow in your direction, and your heart won't stop beating. All hope won't be lost. You are a part of the plan of this world's salvation, of that I have no doubt. The world needs its oceans of people striving to be good, to carry us to the shores of hope and wash fears from the beachheads and cleanse all wounds so they can heal. But oceans are big, and I am sure there are parts that don't feel up to the task of the wholesome days. Rest if you must, then, like a swimmer lying on her back who floats, or a hawk who carries on cushions of air. Rest in pews made to hold weary lives, and space carved out for doing nothing much but being. Perhaps then you will feel in your bones, in your weary heart, the aching, healing sense that this is enough. Even this. That we are enough. That this is enough. Even this. That you are enough, enough. For these and all the meditations of our heart, unspoken in this hour, I say amen.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all these chains holding me. I wish you could say all the things I could say. could be like a bird in the sky. I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing 'cause I know how it feels to be free. Then I'd sing 'cause I know how it feels to be free.
A blessing for this expectant moment. As much as you are able, land in the space you are in. Wherever you are, land there, knowing you are held close and true by your Throop community. Land and let yourself pause and let yourself be soothed by this pause. Take a breath in, exhale, and know you are breathing alongside others. And let your heart open to receive this blessing from me to you. As we wait just around the corner from now, the air outside almost, but not quite, smells like spring. One bird outside my window sings as if it were already so. The green leaves of spring bulbs grow and reach toward the sun, but they take just one more breath before they release the first bloom just around the corner of now. Like those bulbs, the tender stalks of our longing yearn to grow toward one another, yearn to be free in this world, yearn to dance and sing and laugh. Yet one more breath is asked of us as we peer around the corner of now. Wherever and however you find yourself on that corner, eager, anticipatory, anxious, depressed, fearful, fretful, is it finding you tired and oh so worn out? Just let yourself be there. Enjoy the sights and sounds right at the end of your fingertips. Before you peer too far into the future, let the blessing of this expectant moment find its way into your heart and into your spirit. This is a blessing of life and love. This is a blessing of soon. This is a blessing of you have made it this far. A blessing of you can do this. Take a breath. It is almost, but not quite, springtime.
From the crush of wealth and power, something broken in us all waits the Spirit's silent hour, pleading with a poignant call. Bind all our wounds again. makes our burdens light to bear. Find the sister and the brother, hungry for the feast we share. Bind all their wounds again. Every time our spirits languish, terrified to draw too near, may we know each other's anguish, and with love that casts out fear, bind all our wounds, bind all our wounds, bind all your wounds again.
The end is a new beginning. I truly believe that, as do apparently millions of other Americans. But what needs to end and what needs to begin is sometimes painful and anxiety-producing question. You might have heard someone near or dear to you say, if you're not happy doing what you do, quit and do what you love. Great. Now I have to figure out what I love, what that job it means, figure out how to get that job. No pressure. But believe me, if you embrace this idea and open yourself to the possibilities, you might be surprised at the results. Now, in November of this last year, a new record of 4.5 million Americans walked off their jobs. It's a record that keeps getting broken and was broken months before that. According to economists, this trend shows no sign of stopping. So who's quitting? Yeah. Well, mostly food service and hospitality. So hotel, restaurant workers, lower level paying jobs, but they're leaving for a variety of reasons. Self-preservation from COVID, working mothers with no access to childcare, small businesses that are closed down due to needed but devastating lockdowns. For these people and many others, COVID has forced them to reevaluate their lives, their jobs, their careers, and they're looking for ways to do things they love. And the workers that are staying in the industries where they are, they're facing even harder times. A few weeks ago, Angela and I, my wife, went into a restaurant. But before we went, we were looking at the website. And there's a big disclaimer on the site that says, basically, they had staff shortages, and as such, service may be impacted. But then they asked us not to take this out on their employees that they do have. Makes sense. When we arrived, the server basically told us the same thing, asked us to be patient, and then proceeded to provide really excellent service under the circumstances. But this seems to be the exception and not the rule. Because the new variant that is contagious and spreading, it's impacting all the areas of our lives. Shops and restaurants are closing just due to having so many people being sick. However, among the most obvious impacts of COVID to our physical health, it's also taken tolls on our mental health. People answering several different polls have stated that their reason for leaving a job is wanting to live into their values. It's one of the #1 reasons. Some have been fortunate enough to have been given the time, courtesy of COVID, to reflect and ask themselves and their partners, is this really what I want to do with the rest of my life? They've taken time to really think about what is important to them, not just money, but finding work that reflects their values and beliefs. For those that have lost their jobs, did they really want to go back to those jobs with personal protection or not? Or can they take a little bit more time and think about alternatives that maybe have never existed in our economy before? There are so many good reasons to leave a job, but how do you know it's time? And what is it you really want to do? For me, I have tried to be open to subtle nudges and whispers of the universe. One of our better-known Unitarian Universalist principles speaks about the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part. This idea is actually essential to my personal theology, and one that I've tried to learn to embrace when I first started thinking about moving on. Prior to entering seminary, I worked for the same company in multiple states and in 2 different countries for over 20 years. I helped grow the company, particularly their international benefits division. I was comfortable with my work and followed my personal value system of honest work and maintaining relationships with colleagues and my clients. It was only when the company began to change, focus more on sales and numbers, more than relationships and longevity, that I began to falter. I felt it was not me that was changing, but it was the company that was changing, and they no longer operated with the same values I did. This was painful realization for me, but one that set my path to the ministry. I decided it was time to set forth and make a new beginning. But what was that to look like? I could be a little dense sometimes, and it does take a little bit of a nudge from the universe. Maybe it's time to make a change. Though I had been taking classes at Star King School for the Ministry, I had not yet made a leap to do this full time. But this is what I love, so why not take the leap? What was holding me back? Other than a loss of income, the loss of a career, complete unknown as to whether or not he'd even be a good minister. Other than that, what was there? I tried to sit still and listen. I left it up to the universe to give me some indication. My first sign. I received a call telling me that I had been offered a summer clinical pastoral education position at a local hospital. It was a very competitive position, particularly as the last summer the program had not been offered due to COVID. Many students travel outside of their state for these positions. Mine was literally 35 minutes away. But I couldn't do this and keep my full-time job. But the position started and was mine if I wanted it in a few months. I told them I would give them my answer shortly. Another sign that I reflect back to, and it was really interesting, this is a sign I just thought about this morning. Angela's telling me about a kind of a podcast she was listening to about somebody telling her how they kept seeing, after their relatives had passed, signs of them being around. And I remember when I was actually having lunch, this is back when we were still in person at Star King, and my mother had passed, and we were doing a class on ancestry. I'm sitting at lunch by myself thinking, what do I do? Is this what I'm meant to do? And I start talking to my mom. And about that time, a ladybug lands on my napkin, proceeds to walk around, stare at me. I pour my heart out to this poor ladybug my entire lunch. She stays there walking around the entire time. When I'm done, I thank her, she flies away. My mother really loved ladybugs. They were all over the house. She thought they were wonderful and a source of good luck. Another sign. Shortly after I had that call from my CPE, soon-to-be supervisor, a minister that I had met before, that I respected, but didn't particularly know all that well yet, asked me if I considered doing an internship with a UU congregation. It seems she had remembered me from Star King and from some other Zoom meetings, and she thought I would be a great fit with her congregation. Way out in this place called Pasadena. And then she told me that my former academic advisor, Reverend Megan Visser, might want to work with me as well. How much more of a sign do I need? Well, of course I was interested, but why me? Why now? Again, so many seminarians have to travel outside of their home states. There are only so many teaching congregations to go around. The answer is really simple, is that we were all a good fit, and we seemed really happy at the prospect of working together. What else do you need? So, I've been giving these wonderful opportunities even more than I'd ever hoped for. Maybe I could do what I loved. I called my manager of my company to tell her. Yep, I quit. And you know what my manager told me? It's about time. Wow. I am so happy for you. I know that this is what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Okay, universe, I get it. This is where I'm supposed to be and when. Thank you for those not so subtle nudges. Yes, I did want to make a change to my career, and I felt the values of my company were diverging, and yes, I decided to open myself to search for what I love. It was, by the way, my wife that was even less subtle about encouraging me to do that over many years. Yeah. And, she said, well, you go ahead and do what you want to do. I can be financially stable for us, though she was starting her own new career at the time. And yeah, I am doing what I love to do now. Will this case be the same for everyone? Maybe not. But that's where we all come in. I ask you to speak with your friends, your families, your colleagues, even have a conversation with yourself. Maybe this sermon alone is that gentle nudge for you. Are you doing what brings you joy? Are you living your life with intent and your own values? If not, be open to the whispers and nudges of the universe. You never know what they might bring.
Dear weaver of our lives' design, whose patterns all
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Tara, for being here with me today. Although our chalice will now be extinguished, we carry its light within us. May we recognize the flames within each other and use them to illuminate our paths forward and to be a beacon of light to one another. Now, go in peace, love, and light.
Through days be dark with storms and burdens weigh my heart. Though troubles weigh down every turn, I know I can go on. Though sorrow heals my soul and burdens make me strong. Though troubles weigh down every turn, I know I can go on. And though the journey is long, the destination is near. Though troubles weigh down every turn, I know I can go on. I know I can go on. I know I can go on.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.